You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. Yeah, we Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Rick flaring, gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death. I'm Paul bearing, not at all scary. When I open like Betty Wops and find to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary Crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders, trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow, who can't cry over spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness, it's really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like the mother guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Nitty for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids, D-Phase. Yeah. Bubba C. Yeah. Rick flaring on him. Rick flaring on him. Rick flaring on him. Rick flaring, son up, baby.
Hey, yo, Scotty, we back.
Yo,
Appreciate you for reaching
you a
out.
star.
I'm like, hey, it's outspoken. A lot changed. Granted, the concept we still hosting. Giving you the fix you need when on the screen. The veteran, Captain Petty, giving you medicine. Come tap in. You know Scott gon' do what he do. Might not want to hear it, but here go the hard truth. Perry about the numbers, regret if you're not fact-based. When you run your lane, the numbers seem like a statue. Wait. Hey, Scotty, man, I'm not feeling it. I don't think the people feeling it. Let me get in my bag a little bit, just showing what this outspoken really about to be like. Outspoken, this is more than conjecture. These days they laying people off, so glad that we got our own. Hunger insatiable, made for you if you say you objective. Hard truth offering, no offense, just perspective. Come get your dosage and go with me. We spit it like poetry. The pivot was pivotal, could rhyme here, but I'd rather not. Some say Scotty, some call him Scott, the best one since Stewart. If you know, then you know, but if you don't, then you lost. Let me be frank for a minute, cause we all know that's how Perry be. Breaking down the game for what it was, no apologies. This my hypothesis, you tune in, you like watching it. It's common sense, obvious, competent, rugged, and confident. Hey, we outspoken. We outspoken. We outspoken. This is outspoken, and we gon' put on a show, even if we hear you say I can't stand. It's outspoken.
Hey, back. I think we got another one. What is going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Listen, look, me and Perry, we good, but we ain't national championship good. All right, so we had to push that thing on back. So you already know what it is. Please give it up, my special guest, my co-host, my brother from another, Perry White. You ain't got no pom-poms. You ain't got nothing. You know, it feel like it's been a while, Perry. I don't know.
No pom-pom football season over with for me.
Where your mic, man? My homeboy hooked you up with a mic. You ain't never using it.
I gotta piece it together, man. There's some stuff I gotta do.
You had that thing for like 3 weeks.
There's some stuff I gotta do.
Lord have mercy. See, you can't give black people nothing. Can't give black people. Man got a free microphone. I just, I got to put it together. I don't know.
But you know what? I fool around and have that captain's headset like you. That's all I'm waiting to get that captain's headset.
You ain't gonna put it together. ain't no point to sit it if you ain't gonna put it together.
I'm gonna put together my captain's headset, man.
It's got it. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you sending me over a headset, but I just hadn't had time. All right, God, no, you gonna make time, man?
Happy New Year.
Oh yeah, Happy New Year, man.
God, dog, I ain't know this is how we was popping off. I know you've been having a lot on your plate lately. I've been seeing you popping up with your lives and everything, and reporting. You all in FAMU business, boy. Oh, you all in their business and the Swac. My God, I don't know what they gonna do with you, Scotty.
No, man. They listen. They just. You never, how you just be like, I think Bernie Mac said, he's like, I wish all the bad things in life happened to you and nobody else but you. Well, who said that? It's a movie that says that, and I think that's what Dr. McNugget would be one for me. He's like, I hope all the things in life happen to you. Oh, Dave Chappelle on the Haters Ball. He's like, I hope all the things in life happen to you and nobody but you. Like I think that's what Dr. McNugget will want for me in my life.
Oh man, y'all will fool around and be the best of friends. I'll bet one day.
Oh yeah, whatever.
But I know you had so much on your plate, so it's good to be back, man. First show of the new year.
Yes, sir.
It's been a while.
Yes, sir. It has. Man, I missed you, man. No homo.
Last time I saw you, Willie Simmons was still the coach at FAMU. That's how long it's been.
Hey, now that Jake like hell in a handbasket, bro. That Jake is bad. Listen. Shout out to Mr. Kincaid. He always tells me, he said, man, we so bad we can't even do wrong right. I was like, God, no. I'm like, yo, it's bad, man. It's really bad, but we'll get into it. Hey,
and I know the people gonna have to get used to it. You know I'm due for one.
Starting on the new year.
Come on, you know I'm due for one. I don't understand how this continues to be new to you. And to everybody else, y'all know I'm due for one good interruption. It wouldn't be a show with me on here if somebody didn't interrupt me.
Dog, 2024 starting off, just come on, man.
It is what it is. All right. Come on, man. You know it wouldn't be a show if that didn't happen.
Oh, man. New Year's, same fairy problems, boy. I swear to God. That's funny. That was some perfect timing.
Yeah, I'm not like the rest of I know them gym memberships went up January 1st just for y'all to have them for 2-3 months.
Yeah.
Right back to your routine.
Some new resolutions. That's what they call them, new resolutions.
What you gave up? What you changing this year?
You know what? That's a great question. What I'm changing for the new year, and Mr. Campbell and my wife have been on me about it. It's just stepping away from petty a little bit more. Just moving away from petty a little bit more. Just distancing myself.
What does that look like with Scotty distancing himself? So none of that Twitter stuff coming onto the show.
Yeah, just leaving it there and not acknowledging people that are beneath me. That's what they said.
Oh, beneath.
Not
I didn't know.
not acknowledging and not bringing up strife of people that are beneath me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's that. What about you?
I said what I really wanted to do this year was focus a lot harder with just improvement, self-improvement. And you can look at it in any way, any kind of direction you want. Just looking to move a lot better than I did in 2023. Just each year trying to improve. What did I have to build off of from last year? How do you then take that to the next level? How you continue to grow that? It's kind of what I'm on with myself, man. And a lot of people say find themselves, but you have to create yourself. So I'm in that process of what's next to create for me. You know what I mean?
I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that a
Because
lot.
you'll find yourself content, stuck in your own old ways, and before you know it, time will go on. And I don't like to be content. I think I was finding myself starting to get to that point of being content. I had to push myself, man. There's much more to do, something else greater to go. So that's what I'm doing, man. Humbling myself, putting myself down, and really being creative in 2024.
I like that, man. I like that.
I
Girl.
appreciate that.
Nah, that's dope. That's dope. You know me. I'm trying to just get better with me, and you trying to grow. I like that. I like that.
That's how I work together. You know what I'm saying? Pray for me.
I like
Pray
that.
for me.
I really do. I really like that. All right, let's get into a little hot and viral. You know what I'm saying? A little hot and viral. First up, where else to start? Perry. Now, this has a little bit of hot and viral. So, don't know if you've been living under the rock, Perry. This young man right here, Sean Gibbs, has been named the FAMU head coach. There's a lot of parameters. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes right now. But as I've heard, currently, he has told his staff at Fort Valley State that he has accepted the position and is telling his coaches who he's bringing with him. That is what I've heard. That is word in the street. But FAMU fans are like, over my dead body. Hell no, we won't go. So it's a lot of back and forth with this. What you got on this, P?
How true is this? I'm always about, give me a percentage. How true do you think this is, that this is probably going to be finalized?
I'm okay. Let me do this. I'm 30% sure that he will get finalized. I think FAMU is going to pull a Texas A&M. I think FAMU is going to pull a Texas A&M where they gave the job to Stoops and they was like, hell no. And then they got the guy from Duke. I think that's what it, but what I'm getting and what I'm receiving is that whoever comes behind Gibbs is not going to have the same team that they thought they were going to have because of this transition between naming Gibbs and not naming Gibbs and things like that. So I think it's a mini coup. I think it's you have Tiffany and Larry. You have Tiffany, and Tiffany has Larry in his back pocket because she's the only reason why he's the only reason why she got the job. So they're like two peas in a pod. And then you have board of trustees, boosters, FAMU alums. Everybody is on the opposite side for this guy. So the people for Gibbs is Larry and Tiffany. Everybody else is on the opposite side. So it's really a battle of will at this point. So
this is tug of war.
Yeah, of who gets their way.
Oh man, this is a tough situation to be in if you're in FAMU, because we call that infighting.
Yeah.
And now that you have this infighting, you had something to celebrate just a couple weeks ago. Just a few weeks ago, there was something joyous to be a part of FAMU. And you thought everybody was on one accord, and now just this quick, a few weeks later, here we are. And I think I saw something talking about turmoil on the social media of FAMU fans voicing their opinions. Didn't this guy start a fight at FAMU some years back?
Yeah, I think 2018 or 2019. Yeah, he started a fight.
Can they forgive him for that or no?
That dog, not at this point. Not at this point.
So this seemed like this is just the guy all the way around. If you were to ask the fans, because I also think I saw something that said since FAMU did that huge fundraiser event, or bringing in all these donors, they've gone quiet in terms of communication back out to the people who ultimately gave to the program to try to keep Willie Simmons. I've heard the point of people saying if you're going to have all of this money that you brought in from donors and alum and supporters of the program, why not keep it with somebody that's in-house? And, you know, if FAMU is looking to be in a position to be a dynasty, that I think that they believe they are in a position to now move forward as, let's just take a look at programs who had success where coaches have left or retired. Look at the national champion that just won the FCS in South Dakota State.
Facts.
They brought up a coach that was already on the staff, and in his 1 year, he kept the success of what the program was built upon from the previous coach who retired. I mean, I've heard it numerous times on here when we bring up North Dakota State. North Dakota State is a program that they never leave the confines of the facility. Whoever's the next guy up is probably already has an office somewhere within the facility.
Just move it. Just move my boxes down the hall.
You just get the big one now, okay?
Hey, go ahead to the corner office. It's your turn. It's your turn.
Hey, man, you know that corner office for a coach that they get crowded out or is packed out because it's junky, full of stuff. You know what I'm talking about. Now he get the big office. He got a little space. And so I think if I can understand this right, FAMU people want to possibly keep somebody that's from already within the program that knows what it looked to try to, what they say, keep the glue together of everything, keep it strong. But it seems like anything on the outside of that, they're not looking to that because it looked like it may tear what you've already built into shambles just that fast in a snap of a finger. And this is a space where we like to call uncertainty when you have coaching change because you don't know what the future is going to look like. Yeah. You're going to have those fans and alums that want somebody who they're familiar with a familiar name. I can tell you personally, that's what happened with Southern with Eric Dooley, right? They wanted a familiar face and a familiar name, and it didn't work out. You had others who before wanted somebody from in-house. That happened with Jason Rollins, who was the interim coach. Yeah. And it ultimately, for a lot of people, they said maybe Jason Rollins should have got another year in order to see what he could really do, or just didn't seem like he was the right guy at the right time. Ironically, both those guys are now together on the coaching staff at Grambling. But I bring it back home to this. I'm kind of unsure of what to do. I mean, this guy, what's his record at Fort Valley? What does success look like for him? I
think it's a winning record. I think he turned the program around his 2 years there. And he has a let me see, Fort Valley State. I apologize for not having this up. I'm not usually the Perry White of the show.
Look at you growing this year. Remember, you growing. You're stepping out into uncharted territory.
From Petty. They went 8-3 this year. Last year they went, I think, 7-4. Let me see. They went 8-3 this year. Last year they went 8-2 last year. And I think that's when he got the job, was in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. But in 2021, let me see where they went. 5-5. So if he was there since, I know he hadn't been there long. So if he's been there since 2021, 5-5, 8-2, 8-3. So yeah, so here we go, 16-5. So the last 2 years, he's had a job for 2 years. He's been 16-5. Listen, let me be fake. Let me be frank. He's a good hire. I'm not. Listen, I want to be very clear. FAMU fans are not going to get me on the boat to say he's a bad coach. I disagree. I think he's a solid coach. What FAMU people are telling me is he's not the right coach for FAMU.
And that's what my next question was going to be. I mean, does he not seem like a guy that could be qualified? And he's an unknown. That could be good for them. But I know it's scary once Willie Simmons left and you finally reach that high that you wanted. It's like what they say crack is, FAMU dealing with crack issues. They got crack problems. They say once you hit the rock one time, I hate I'm even referencing this on the show. But hey, who comes from that city and chasing it? You know, they say you taste that, huh?
Just keep calling me, man. Just keep calling.
That's what's happening to FAMU fans. That's exactly what's happening to their fans, man. You know, it's like they've reached that high now. They want to instantly make that high the same, and no matter what, I just don't think it's going to quite be that same high. But I think you are in a position to be successful. I think FAMU is in a position to be successful, whether they hire this guy from Fort Valley or hire somebody from within. I think it's time to just pump the brakes a little bit. I know it's change, and change can sometimes bring uncertainty. it can make you nervous and it can scare you. But at the same time, if you're the athletic director, all that money that's been pumped in, it's just like the Tiger Athletic Foundation at LSU. You got to listen to where the money's coming from, because the money is ultimately dictating what decisions we got to move forward. And in this case right here, what we haven't seen in quite some time is where money is actually in a position to make a choice at a HBCU, besides allowing somebody who's just in that position with that title to make it. Now you got people who are at the table, and you see the power that you have once you put your money and you at the table. You can make things happen however you want. And FAMU's in that position where you're starting to see them make things happen the way that they want, which I think ultimately why you see this whole conflict of infighting.
Yeah. I would say this and I'll move on. This reminds me of the Dallas Mavericks after Dirk Nowitzki won his championship, and they literally blew the whole team up. Like Tyson Chandler was gone. Deshaun Stevenson was gone. I mean, Jason Kidd. I mean, it was just like, yo, why would you get rid of everybody on the team? And this is what it feels like they're doing. And I think the indecision by the direct opposite approach, which I knew she would.
I told y'all niggas. Y'all thought I was swearing, but I told y'all.
I told y'all what she was going. I told y'all she was going to go left. And this is left. And this is right up her alley. So to me, for her to just blatantly disrespect the team and the coaches and say, hey, we want one of these two guys in because we want to run it back. You don't even give them that that justice for what they earned that. That team earned that right to run it back. They did.
So does who the players want, is that the same as what the fans are yelling? So
absolutely. It was
so who does everybody yelling about?
It was Cozy or Rowe. Those are the only KJ Black. They wanted KJ, but KJ making that big bucks. You know, it's gonna be hard.
The guy that was the successful high school coach down in Miami, correct?
Absolutely.
He was assistant to Willie Simmons.
Absolutely. He was
the other guy, is that the white guy?
No, that's the defensive coordinator you're talking about, Smitty Rock.
Smitty Rock, yeah.
Cozy was the DB coach. So they wanted one of those two guys. So literally, honestly, you could have pulled an Alcorn to where Willie go, Cozy, Smitty Rock, Roll. We picking one of these three guys, and we gonna keep it rolling.
My last question to you: this guy from Fort Valley, what's his specialty? Is he an offensive or defensive guy?
He's a former running back coach. He's been a running back coach. I don't think right now he's a balanced offensive attack. From what I've seen, he's a balanced offensive attack. He is an offensive guy. You know, I think.
And then what you want if you lose Willie Simmons? I mean, I'm just
he ain't calling plays now. He ain't calling plays now. But he's an offensive minded guy. He is an offensive minded guy. So you're definitely going to have a more balanced attack than you ever had at FAMU. It ain't going to be, you know, first down throw, second down throw, third down throw. It ain't going to be that. It's going to be a very balanced attack when you're dealing with Sean Gibbs. But it's going to be funny. It's not run the damn football. It's not. He is a balanced guy. He is run first, but he is a balanced guy. It ain't no old school Odoms. It ain't Odoms. All right. I'll tell you that. It ain't Odoms. 3 yards in a cloud of dust. That ain't what it is. All right. Let's move on. Now, this is all speculation. So the guy you see at the bottom left, Perry, that's Cozy. That's one of the guys that was up for the head coaching position. Who you see
that's the DB coach.
That's the DB coach. Who you see next to him is that bad man, Coach Rez, the recruiting coordinator. Now, both of these guys are supposed to have job positions at other places. You have Mercer looking into Cozy for that job position. And then I've heard a couple Power 5 programs are interested in hiring Coach Rez. And when I mean interested, I mean like finalist interested. So both of these guys could be leaving. And listen, FAMU fans are sitting on that question mark like, how did we get here? And I'll tell you this. If FAMU lets Coach Rez walk out the door without, you know, really putting up a fight, that I will picket it and I will want Tiffany Sykes fired. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I swear to God, I would do a show every single day until she's fired. That to me, that's the one person you can't lose. That's how I think that's how important he is to the success of FAMU is that guy you cannot lose. I honestly believe that. But what you got, P?
I think this just comes down to, I know why everybody was focusing on making sure Willie Simmons got paid. Success trickles down to everybody. And I think when you look at success, you got to look at the people who also helped build this, what you wanted to call championship, national championship, HBCU national championship team. These are just two guys that also are a piece of that puzzle. Willie Simmons was the biggest piece that you needed to fit. But then you start to talk about the other integral parts. What do you do? And I go back to what I said before, to make these guys feel like FAMU is home and it's just not another job to add to the resume. Are these guys the guys that you want to see continue to grow with this idea of a potential dynasty in the making of what FAMU has become? And that's why you have to be able to take care of these guys and make them feel at home. Now, I would like them, if they do hire this new coach from Fort Valley. I know it's never easy to transition with a new boss when you've been able to do things and you're accustomed to a previous boss. But how locked in is everybody to see FAMU be successful, right? From the players to the coaches that's there. How locked in are they to really try to stay and be a part of with this new coach that potentially made, as you said, probably about 30% may be named head coach. And at the same time, with this new guy that's coming in, that's where the AD's role is crucial. What are we doing to keep on track of what we're doing and not deviate? If I bring you in, will you be that piece offensively that we may have lost in Willie and then try to help build everything else around what we already have in place? Or are you going to come in and you're going to wipe the slate clean and then you want to do it your way?
Yeah.
I saw that with, and I know this is, Southern was designed and built under Dawson Otis with a program that had been successful for numerous years of a run first type of offense, right? Great O-line. You're going to have a running back room and a quarterback that can do what he needs to do. Nonetheless, it found success the way that it did as a program. Eric Dooley came in and was like, nah, that's not me. And a lot of times, and I use that as an example because when you get a guy that come in, he's going to want to say, I did it my way. I want to do it the way that I want to do it and not really work off of the success of the previous coach. And then it looked like, well, you just won off of him. And that's the conundrum right here, you know, because if he comes in, you think he's just going to clear out the room. I think he'll probably sit down and have a talk with, especially with guys that a recruiting coordinator who has shown time and time. Fam, you turned everybody head when you start to hit a 5-star from FAMU. You heard all of these other guys. From Florida State, you start to hear all these other names get associated. They turn heads. So you got to sit with that guy and say, how can I promote you up? And I would love to have and keep you on this level because you understand what it takes on the FCS Division I level in order to at least get us some talent in these different position rooms.
I think that I'm telling you, the one thing that it should have been do not touch, do not disturb is Coach Rez. And to me, if you knew Willie was out the door, the first person that should have got a pay raise is Coach Rez. He's the most. I don't care what you can talk about all the. If you don't listen, it says is it the X's and O's or the Jimmys and the Joes? Everybody's gonna tell you it's the Jimmys and the Joes, and Coach Rez was bringing in the Jimmys and the Joes. So it just doesn't make sense to me how you let this man walk out the door possibly to go to a Power 5 program. Now, if that's just his goal and dream or whatever, but you got to make that damn hard. You got to make that damn hard. You got to be like, hey, man, we trying to give you 80K, benefits, all this, that, and the third. What's up? What's up? We'll match it. Now, we can't go to 100K. We ain't doing that. But, 80, 90, hey, we can make it work. And they got $1 million.
Unfortunately, they didn't get left in a situation like when Deion left Jackson and he just, hey, here's the next guy, TC from within. Maybe FAMU would have wanted the fans and the team and the supporters for Willie Simmons to say, if I'm going to move on, maybe here's the next guy that I recommend for the job. This guy should have the position. Maybe that would have worked out a lot better for him and went ahead and knocked a lot of this extra outside drama out the way that's ultimately causing infighting.
That's fair. That's fair.
Wouldn't they have liked that?
They would. I mean, to me, listen, it's funny how quickly the Swac has turned on his head, right? Because Alcorn was looked at as, oh my God, they lost their guy. But the way they found that guy and plugged him in and they just kept on rolling, it's probably the most secure. Texas Southern up in shambles. FAMU up in shambles. Southern still up in shambles. Y'all don't even got no OC or DC. Y'all haven't recruited my grandmother to go play football at Southern. Like, what are y'all doing? Everybody's up in shambles other than Alcorn. Alcorn sitting there like, we good. We got our guy. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy how quick it can go from sugar to shit. And that's what it looks like all across the SWAC. It's like, damn, how can you drop the ball? You just came off of a championship run. How do you drop the ball that bad? How do you fumble the rock that bad?
What does this uncertainty across the landscape of the SWAC sound like to you, honestly? Like, if you could put this in context of like, damn, like it was all good just a year ago. Now you got an X here, an X there, an X here. And you just see how these programs are shifting and changing. And it's like everybody had opportunities to do what they needed to do to level themselves up. But it's like what they say, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
They're the same. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Oh, Jesus Christ. Have you watched the Powerpuff Girls?
When I was a kid, I remember, was it Mojo Jojo?
Yeah, you remember that? Okay, so the intro, it says sugar, spice, and everything nice.
Yeah.
These are the perfect ingredients for the perfect little girl. But Professor Professor accidentally added chemical X, right? How I feel about the SWAC is like, these were the perfect ingredients to have a perfect, but then, whoever you want to put, Professor accidentally added nigga shit. Like, then you have a
I don't think they added it. It was already there. They just
like
added an extra
and it makes it a bonfire of just foolishness, right? Like, It's just like, damn, how did we get here? How did we get here? So I'm like, bro, I don't. My head be hurting. My head just hurts, and you literally take a loser that a program paid him to go away, and then Grambler's like, come over here, we'll take you. I just don't chemical in. I just, what I'm saying? I don't understand it, man. I really, it really boggles my mind, like how quickly people really mess stuff up. It's amazing to me. But
it doesn't look good right now. And this uncertainty it's taking away the excitement of what can be built for next year, because it's leaving us in positions talking about why are we even here right now. We should be at this point discussing teams and what they're recruiting and moving forward, getting excited about the spring. But yet we're in positions where guys don't even know who they're going to be working with. Players don't even know who they're going to be playing for. And you got guys out there in the transfer portal who being held up. School is starting in some places.
Absolutely.
It started, about to start. So, these type of decisions, if you want a coach to be successful, you got to look around the landscape. And once again, it starts from the top all the way down to the bottom. It's a trickle-down effect. Whether you the SWAC commissioner, whether you are AD, however that you're running the overall system all the way down into your athletic department, we got to find ways to be more efficient and realize time is of the essence. And most of all, time is a value. And with the value that you have right now in the college football landscape, you want to continue to have the attention of your fans and excitement of your fans. And no matter what decision that you have, you want to make sure that you're transparent with your fans in order to continue to keep them on board. Because this is kind of almost, I hope it's not a tragedy for FAMU considering the high that they've had. They waited 2 years for Jackson State to get out the way, and then the door finally opened for them. And it's just as soon as the door cracked open, here we are.
But it is about to slam shut, and it's about to, and it could possibly slam shut. Let me say that.
It could possibly slam shut. I just don't. I'm not as hyped as, because clearly everybody saw. I was a fan of Willie Simmons and what he was able to accomplish at FAMU, because we continued to see the outside things, whether it was the music video, if it was academics, it was probably a lot of shit that never even came to the light, I'm sure. But the fact that he was able to, everybody is not able to be a CEO like that. It's more than being a football coach. It's about being a CEO. Willie Simmons was one hell of a CEO when you look at the way he ran that organization. And I think when you look at where Texas Southern is, it's like you can't even decide on who you want your CEO to be, let alone who you want the workers. And so it hurts when you look at trying to move things forward. And I take even Southern University, you know, waiting all of this time and still in uncertainty when everybody, the same pieces have been in place, never left. You just missed one person. That's Eric Dooley. So how's the uncertainty lasted this long? You know, if I'm Coach Graves, I pretty much know after that Swac champion, after the Bayou Classic, if I want to keep whoever was calling offensive plays that game or not.
That's
you
true.
know, so it's just the landscape is wacky right now. And I think just to see the fact that it's wacky, just a couple years ago, we thought the SWAC was headed to a pinnacle. We thought the SWAC was going all the way to the mountaintop. It was a new day. And now just a couple years later, we're looking, it's just kind of shambles around the conference. And there's not much excitement that you would think could be built from just what we had a couple years ago.
Dang, homie. In high school, you was the man, homie. What the happened to you? That's really what it goes down to. Hey, listen, guys.
In the SWAC, man.
It's rough. That name is real. That name is real. Listen, guys. We have a lot of guests on this show. But I'm honored and a little disappointed. But I'm honored though that we have a very, very special guest today, right? We got a special guest, Jason Gibson, pastor, author, professor, and JSU alum. Please give it up for today's special guest, Mr. Jason Gibson.
What's going on, Scotty?
What's good? What's up, big time?
Perfect intro song. I really appreciate it. I really do appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Listen, I'm doing too much JSU stuff. People are going to start thinking that this is going to become a JSU channel again, and it's not, and it never will. And we're not going back to there. You know what I'm saying?
It's okay to drink the water, man. It's okay to drink the water.
I'm good. Yeah, Jason, man, how has everything been? You're doing so much. I want to bring it up real quickly here. You got a new book coming out, Pray, Plan, Execute. That's your whole brand. That's your whole mantra. Explain to the people how that came about, and what can they expect from this book?
So, man, I know you have an entire show. First of all, thank you for having me on, man. Pierre, how you doing? I watch y'all every week, man. So I'm so honored to be on the show. So I know you have an entire show planned, so I'll make sure that I speak with as much brevity as I can. But yeah, with that said, so this mantra, this moniker, Pray, Plan, Execute, it was something that I came up with. I always wanted to start a clothing line, but in 2017, I just kind of felt this unction to, just kind of do more. And man, I was in prayer one night and I heard God just kind of tell me, like, so audibly, man. It's not often that I feel like I hear the audible voice of God. And one thing that he said is, I need you to finish what I put in your hands. Me, man, I'm like a Renaissance man. I do a whole lot, but my Achilles heel when I was younger was I wasn't finishing a lot. So with that said, I felt the Lord tell me, hey, I need you to finish what's in your hand. One of those things was grad school. I went back to Jackson State and got my master's. At the end of that program, I was having a hard time finishing my thesis. And one day, I was just praying. I was like, God, man, I'm finna drop out again. I really can't do this. And I literally, it came to my mind. I said it to myself out loud. I was like, okay, forget this, man. I'm finna pray. I'm finna put a plan together. And then I'm gonna just execute. And it's like a light bulb just went out right there. And I was like, pray, plan, execute. I like that, man. Like, I think that's gonna be the brand. So essentially that's how it came about, man.
So the book, now what can people expect when they purchase Pray, Plan, Execute? Because it sounds like a solid mantra. It sounds like, hey, these are key attributes to get your life in order. So what can they expect when reading the book, and what did you place in the book that make this so beneficial to everybody?
So Pray, Plan, Execute is literally it's a 3-step mantra by which I execute every single decision in my life, every single major decision. And of course, it's a 21-day faith-based devotional. And then when I say faith-based, I mean Christian-based. So I refer to a lot of scripture. Pray. 1 Thessalonians, I believe, is 5:16. It says that we rejoice always and we pray without ceasing. Anybody that knows what ceasing is, that means to seize something is to stop it or to restrain it or to confine it. And literally the Bible says we should pray without stopping, without ceasing, without like restraining it at all. So that's what I got from for pray. And also in Proverbs 3:5-6 talks about trusting the Lord with all of your heart, lean not to your own understanding, and in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. A lot of the reason why many of us are having a hard time with getting clarity and direction, and as it relates to where God wants us, what's our next step, is because we're not acknowledging God. Literally, the Bible says, acknowledge him in all your ways, and then he will direct your path. So that's that pray mantra. Plan, we've all heard it before. Habakkuk 2:2, write the vision and make it plain. A lot of people quote the beginning of that scripture, write the vision and make it plain, but they don't quote the next part of it. It says, write the vision and make it plain. One version says, so that the heralds may hear it and run with it. The heralds are just angels. A lot of people think about what Disney Channel teaches us about angels. When we think about angels, we think of them as these majestic beings and all white with the wings in their back. That's not necessarily the Bible. That's what Disney Channel taught us. But literally the word angel in the Bible translates to be messenger. So that says, write the vision, make it plain, so that messengers may hear it and that they may run with it. So that's my plan. And then execute, man. My favorite scripture, James 2:26, for the body without the spirit is dead. So faith without works is dead also. When I came up in a religious context, super egregious environment from a religious standpoint, prayer, faith was pushed on me a whole lot, but works wasn't. And the Bible says faith without works is dead. So a lot of people, they praying, they putting forth the faith that they need, they believe in God, but they ain't putting the work in. So basically this book revolves around 4 main areas. That's faith, finances, family, and Lord, why am I forgetting? Faith, finances, family, and oh Jesus.
I'm about to say it ain't football because y'all ain't winning. It ain't football because y'all ain't winning nothing. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, hey, that was a good one. Hey, we had a winning record though. So I mean, but yeah, it revolves around faith, finances, and family. When the other one comes to me, y'all, it's been a long day. Been teaching all day. I'll definitely put it in there. But yeah, faith, finances, family, and it talks about how prayerfully planning and executing your goals lead to those 4 pillar areas.
I love it. I love it. Now, guys, listen, it's very easy. It ain't hard. I already got my book. Go to Pray, Plan, and Execute. $20 pre-order. The book drops February 2nd officially. But Jason, you told me if you pre-order, you get it what, a week, 2 weeks before?
Yeah, you get it 1 to 2 weeks prior to the actual release date.
Absolutely. It's too easy, too simple. And Jason, before we go, man, before we let you go, what the boys gonna do? What the boys gonna do next year? Because you came at me early with the South Carolina State. You came at me early, but you got real quiet as the season went along. So I need to know what are we doing? What are we doing?
I absolutely do not mind admitting when I'm wrong. So I may have undergone a delusion. Yeah. However, man, I think we had an amazing team this year. But I think all things work together. So I absolutely think this.
Wow! No, you did it. No, you.
So next year, man, I'm really feeling Swac championship. That's what I'm feeling. Everybody else is in shambles. We have everything intact. Actually, I've talked to Coach O. He's told me he wants me to continue working with the team.
That ain't help. That ain't help. I told you they didn't help last time. You see, I'm telling you, they all need to get books. Every last one of them need to get a book.
Listen, I'm emptying the clip next year though, so I'm gonna do it. Anything that I have to offer, like I will lend it in my capacity that I'll be serving with the football team. So man, I'm excited about it. I think it's gonna be a phenomenal season next year.
Man, no, I appreciate you, Jason, for coming on. Listen, I've already ordered my book. Go right now. Go to prayplanexecute.com. Let's put Jason, one of our own, on the New York Times bestseller list. That's what it's all about.
Hey, man, and Scotty, last thing before I get out of here, man, I want to do something. I just have to applaud Scotty, man. Like with this platform, it was so easy, man. We were just in the Instagram exchange, and he literally offered his platform and said, man, come on the show. So for that, I want to do something, man. I'm going to personally sow a $100 donation into your platform. And also, I'm going to put the link in the chat, and however many people during this live buy the book, I will give you 10% of whatever those earnings is on top of the $100 seed that I'm going to sow.
Hey, let's go run it up. Let's go run it up. Hey, Jason, man, listen, I appreciate it. I'm so glad. I'm happy I can be able to share my platform with you. Listen, I'm all about bigging up Black businesses. You're doing your thing. You're an author. Listen, I know how I don't even like to write, let alone read a book. So if I'm purchasing a book, okay.
It's an audio book too.
Oh, it's audio?
Yeah,
why you didn't tell me that? I would have went to that. Anyway, so, but no, I'm just glad you're able to come on here, express what you're doing, reach the masses or however you want to do it. And we're going to get you on that New York Times bestseller, 5,000 copies. That's all they need to have you on that thing. You're going to be one. That's what we need to do. Hey, Jason, appreciate you. Make sure you put it in the chat. I'll make sure I pin it. Make sure we get everybody to sign up and get you your book.
And last thing, man, I have to do this. I actually have to put the brand into real life, real world scenario and put it into action, whatever platform I'm on. So, man, if you don't mind, can I just say a quick prayer for you?
Yeah.
It's gonna be over. Perry, you too, man. I appreciate you, dude. So very quickly, Father, thank you so much for your goodness and your faithfulness towards us. God, I just thank you for Scotty. I thank you for the platform that he's established, that you have established through him. Lord, I just ask that as you continue to use him for your glory, that you would continue to give him divine clarity and insight as to what it is that you call him to do. And Father, I just ask that this would just be the beginning to what it is you're going to do in and through his life. In Jesus' name, I do pray. Amen.
Amen. I'll take that. Come on now. No, appreciate you, Jay. Appreciate you, my guy. Listen, that was Jason Gibson, of the author, pastor, professor, motivational speaker. Pray, plan, execute. Make sure you go get it. Make sure you go get you a copy today. All right, all y'all Bamas need devotionals. All y'all Bamas need motivation. Stop playing me. All right, and Perry needs motivation too, because them Southern Jags is not going to be looking no type of good this year. You know what? You need to buy your team a pray, plan, execute, because ain't nobody praying. Did nobody have a plan after Dooley? And we know y'all ain't executing nothing. That's fair. That's fair. I think that's fair.
Thought you was leaving that pettiness alone.
No, I was just making a statement.
I thought you was getting better.
Petty. I don't think that's petty. I think that's some solid advice. Pray, plan, execute.
No, yeah, but that shot was at me though. The man just prayed for you. You started shooting after the prayer.
I was giving you advice.
I don't need athletics.
Yeah,
the administration. See, I'm not administration. If I was administration,
you do the Jaguar Journal every Saturday.
I don't know why you think the Jaguar Journal is like got political pull. Like I flip on the switch and I make decisions. I just report on the decisions that they make the same way you do. I don't have no pool. If
you just made a suggestion of them buying the book and saying, hey, maybe next year you guys can come with a prayer, plan, and the execution of it. That's all you got. That's all I'm saying.
You can do it. Send a message out to Southern right now. Tell them.
Roman Banks, you ain't gonna have a job very long. Terrence Graves, you ain't gonna have a job very long. Y'all need to buy the book, pray, plan, and execute, because ain't nobody praying, ain't nobody planning. That's for damn sure. And y'all can't execute a damn thing. So, Roman Banks, Terrence Graves, did you see Terrence Graves' new profile picture? Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I got it. Listen. Oh, on Twitter. Oh, this junk is oh God. He looked like a 3-year-old at a Christmas play. Hold
You
on.
said you was leaving all that Twitter pettiness where it was.
It's not really pettiness. I'm just showing you your head coach. That's all I'm doing. I'm not being petty about it. I'm just showing you the head coach.
I'm not even saying nothing about Southern. Like how are we on Southern right now?
No, I would just because you're Southern. Because you're Southern.
I told you people just cannot see me outside there. Like tonight, I'm just a dude on here wanting to talk sports. I don't even know what
That's
Southern
from
got to do
Southern.
with this. I'm just a
That's
dude that's talking sports, man.
Okay, and I'm talking sports too about Southern.
Okay, but don't send it my way. Just talk it. Just say it.
Oh, my bad. Okay,
Yeah,
so
don't say like, oh, it's got like I got to be the brunt of having to take the punches. No, I'm just a dude talking sports tonight.
hold on. Let me. What happened to the picture? I just had it. Here we go. Here you go. Now tell me this Bama don't look like his mama dressed him this morning. Dog, come on, man. What is we doing?
Say he grew up in a Pentecostal household.
What is we doing? For y'all, okay. So y'all not gonna win no football games. Y'all used to at least win best dress. That's what you at least used to win best dress. Now y'all
put me in the middle. I told you I was doing better in 2024, and I can't allow you to put me in the middle of. I thought you was gonna do better, but in the midst of your pettiness right now, I can't allow you to put me in the midst of it.
Listen, the drop off is so drastic. You know what I'm saying? You know the drop off is so drastic. Like first you had Gucci Gang, you had Gucci D, and now you got I don't even know what to call it. That sloppy T.
Leave the man alone, man. Leave the man alone. I just want to know who your allegiance gonna be to this year. All your bandwagon teams gone. You shook it yourself, don't you? Look at you, boy. I tell you. Shook it yourself.
Yo, I'm sorry. I thought that was pretty funny. Anyway.
Why right now at this point, at this moment? Why there right now?
It just hit me. I don't know. He said sloppy T as well. Gucci D. Sloppy T.
I told y'all niggas. Y'all thought I was playing, but I told y'all.
Oh man, I love that sound drop. I love that sound drop. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about some natties. Talking about this Division I FCS recap, National Championship weekend. Jack Rabbits come out on top 23-3. I saw in the chat that Clifton McDowell jumped into the portal. He might be coming to Southern. He said, I got my national championship experience. I'm going to go ahead down to Southern. You never know. But 23-3, Perry, I know you watched the game. What were your thoughts?
My thoughts was you want to talk about a dynasty on the FCS level. I think you see the torch now has been passed from North Dakota State to South Dakota State. And South Dakota State, everything about them looks physical. And you're talking about one of the best defenses that you probably have ever seen in your lifetime on this level in the FCS. But nonetheless, this was a close game. Don't let that final score fool you. This game was close, leading all the way into halftime, in which it was 7-3 going into halftime. South Dakota State. That SD, man. South Dakota State scoring 16 points in the third quarter and being able to pull off. And you look at the overall in this game, both teams was even at 17 first down. Montana 4-16, but they had to try to convert fourth downs a lot. Going 2 of 5 on fourth downs. That was tough situations, particularly late in the game, that they found themselves trying to convert and keep their drives alive. 259 total yards, 212 yards passing, 47 on the ground. 3 turnovers in this ball game, 2 by way of fumble and the interception for Montana. On the other side for South Dakota State, much success. 4 of 11 on third down. They didn't go for it on fourth. 363 total yards in this ball game, 175 in the air, 188 on the ground. Very modest and balanced day for this team. 2 turnovers, 1 fumble, and an interception. Clifton McDowell for Montana had a tough day in And South Dakota State defense was getting after him. 22 of 39, 165 yards, a touchdown, an interception. And he only had 13 carries for 2 yards. And then Corbin Walker with an interception for Montana on the other side. It was a beautiful interception. But
Oh,
then you look for
he read that so nice. Man, he read that.
Did, man. It was beautiful. Then you look at on the other side for South Dakota State, Mark Gronkowski, man, look, the Walter Payton Award winner. He was also the most outstanding player of the game, 13 of 21, 175 yards passing, 1 touchdown and an interception, and the big dude can run. 8 carries, 53 yards, and a touchdown. Also to add with that, Isaiah Davis, 16 carries, 87 yards rushing and a touchdown. And Jordan Shanky, 5 receptions, 55 yards, 1 touchdown. South Dakota State is now back-to-back FCS national champions, 15-0. 15-0, man. Do you know how hard it is to go 15-0?
Yeah.
And not only did they go 15-0, they had 10 wins over ranked opponents this year, and they now have the 3rd longest winning streak in FCS history, sitting at 29 games with a winning streak right now. South Dakota State has outscored 4 opponents in the playoffs, 146-15, and that defense only allowed 9 points per game. But what was crazy coming into this ball game, Montana was 8-0 versus South Dakota State, and 2 of those wins at 8-0 came in the FCS playoffs previously. So congratulations to South Dakota. Why don't I call these folks San Diego State, South Dakota State, and their coach Jimmy Rogers, who was also the Eddie Robinson Award winner this year.
My watching this game, at early in the game, I thought it was going to be a blowout. I thought it was going to be a rout because it didn't seem as Montana's defense was ready for the physicality of I'm about to say San Diego State.
That's what I'm telling you. I don't know why.
Well, now you got me saying it because you said it. I know what the team is, okay?
I know what they are too. I just can't help but say San Diego State.
South Dakota. All right, so is Dakota. All right. My thing was this. Once the Grizz settled into the game, Isaiah Davis was a non-factor. He was an absolute non-factor. Yonke and the Twins, they were really what propelled this team down the finish line in this game. But you have to give Montana every bit of credit of how they played this game. But honestly, if you want to get back to it, it's the 4th down goal line stand by South Dakota State when the Grizz were in the red zone and they did that. They did the jet run, which made no sense. I didn't listen. The battle is in the trenches. Don't play with it, right? I think the running back he didn't do his part with really sticking his nose up and getting in there. But to me, I think you just got to go. You're on the half-yard line. Why are we making this hard? Why are we making this complicated? It's white boy on white boy. No homo, okay? Just who gonna move who? And at that point, Montana was doing damn well running the ball. So I think it was a lot of bad play calling. And then on top of it, McDowell was hurt. And you could see it. There was one clear play on third in the third quarter. It's like 2nd and 15. And it's nobody in front of him but Jesus. And he ends up throwing the ball out of bounds, trying to hit a receiver. I'm like, bro, just run. So his inability to extend plays and run was a downfall for this team because he's not a great passer of the ball. What got them to where they were was his ability to run and the running attack that they had. It was like a seesaw. You stop the running back, then McDowell will go off. And if you stop McDowell, then the running back will go off. Having him throw the ball consistently is not what you want to do. And it was just mistakes late in the game by Montana. The one thing that bothers me the most is when receivers do too much, right? Bro, you already got the first down. You're 15 yards up the field. You trying to juke everybody and they mama, and then you end up fumbling. I hate when receivers do that. Just go down. Just go down. Get the yards. Let's run it again. You ain't about to juke 10 people and go to the crib.
What happens, you allow the man from behind that's pause, okay? but you allow the guy pursuing to come and knock the ball loose because you don't see it.
Yeah, you don't.
I had to catch that one quick.
Yeah, that was So it's plays like that, and then I like what Josh from HBCU Nightly. He always says. He said there's a point of attrition with defenses to where they reach a certain amount of snaps, and they just tailor off. They only can do so many, and I think in that mid fourth quarter, Montana State they just ran out of juice. They just ran out of juice. They couldn't really keep because the turnovers were happening faster. They were getting short fields. They couldn't keep them out the end zone. And you just knew when you're a great team, sooner or later, things are going to go your way. And they started going their way in the fourth quarter. And that's how you get the 23-3 game that you got. But
this South Dakota State defense, I mean, this is probably the best defense in FCS since back in 2003 with Monmouth. Who had a defense that just gave up just a little less than what this defense did. But when you talk about a defense only giving up 9 points a game, Scotty, and in 4 playoff games, you've outscored your opponents 146-15.
That's crazy.
And Montana is a team that can score points. Their offense can move the rock on you.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they could not do anything. And you saw South Dakota State's defense really get after them, man. And congratulations. You're talking about a 29-game win streak. How often do you see something like that?
Nah, not often, not as often as you think. And I think the thing for me on the Montana side, which really bothered me, is they didn't give Bergman a lot of chances to be special. Like when a kid, if he's made his money in the punt return game and they're stopping him in punt return, you have to find ways offensively to get him involved. If it's screens, if it's jet sweeps, he's just too special of an athlete to not get involved. I know they threw the ball to him a couple times, but sometimes kids like that you got to force feed because I just need one special play from you. But it didn't go Montana's way, even though if you watch the whole game, the game never got away from Montana. It was right there, 10-3, 10-3, 10-3. And then slowly but surely the field goals start going up. And then the turnovers came, and then you had the onslaught that came later in the fourth quarter. But
it was 16 unanswered points in the third quarter, a touchdown, another touchdown. We're trying to go for a 2-point conversion in which they failed, and then a field goal. And so before you know it, it was just kind of a hole a little bit too deep that Montana couldn't really quite get themselves out of.
Absolutely. All right, let's switch gears. They say we'll never show love, so let's talk a little Swac basketball real quick. All right. Swac basketball. Let's start with the men's. Listen, got some heavy hitters up at the top. Southern 2-0 starting there. This is conference play. This is starting conference play. 2-0. Alabama State 2-0 had a very, very, very close win over Valley. Great closeout. What's that kid's name? TJ. The coach's son TJ scored the final buckets to put them over the top over Valley. Alabama A&M 2-0 in conference, Bethune-Cookman 1-0, and Jackson State 1-0 with a win over Alcorn. What you got, P?
I want to start at the bottom and talk about that Jackson State game because I thought that was big when you look at Jackson State versus Alcorn, right? A rivalry game, and that game was big, 88-80. Jackson State won that game. They shot 32 of 64, 50% from the field. But guess what? They tried to shoot the lights out, man. And I hate when I hear this, that 8 of 27 from three-point line. 8 of 27 shooting 29%, 16 of 20 from the free throw line, shooting 80%. They out-rebound. It was equal rebound, 37 rebounds, 15 offensively, 22 defensively. Then you go up 1 to Bethune-Cookman against FAMU. So Jackson got his rivalry victory to start the season off against Alcorn, and Bethune-Cookman took on FAMU. Bethune-Cookman got that victory 98-86. Bethune-Cookman shooting 38 of 65, 58%, 8 of 18 from the three-point line, shooting 44%, and 14 of 22 from the free throw line, shooting 63%. Bethune-Cookman's largest lead in this game was 26 points. Bethune-Cookman scored 50 points in the paint, Scotty.
Jesus! God, dog.
And 34 points off of fast breaks in this ball game. And, I mean, if you go back and look at it, man, They got some certified dunkers at Bethune-Cookman.
Really?
Hey, they got some certified dunkers. So I think Theus, he coached it in the Big Three. I think the guy, look like he may be putting something together, but it's against FAMU. We'll continue to see where it goes. Then we move up. You talk about Alabama A&M starting conference play 2-0. Big for them. They got the weekend started on the road at UAPB. They won 63-62. A&M in this ball game, shooting 26 of 52, 50%, 4 of 9 from the three-point line, shooting 44%, and 7 of 14 from the free throw line, shooting 50%. Pine Bluff had an opportunity. They lost by 1 game. Coach Bozeman and the Golden Lions went 7 of 28, Scotty, from the three-point line, shooting 25%. Those are the type of stats you're going to start hearing as the season progresses, that sometimes you're going to say, damn, either from that three-point line or it may be an atrocious night from the free throw line.
Yep.
And you're going to start to hear those stats as I give it to you. And from the free throw line for the Golden Lions, 17 of 21, 81% from the free throw line. A&M's largest lead in their game against Pine Bluff was 9. UAPB led at 1 point at 7. A&M scored 40 points in the paint in this ball game.
God, dog. Is anybody blocking the paint? Jesus.
I just think those are stats worth mentioning. And then going down to Itabena, they got a 78-70 victory against Mississippi Valley. Valley never led at any point in this game. A&M shooting 27-54, 50%, 6 of 12 from the three-point line, shooting 50%. And they were at the free throw line, 18 of 25, shooting 72%. Then you move on up to Alabama State. Shout out to both of the Alabamas, right? Getting it done. Alabama State on the road, and both these teams getting it done. Alabama State got their weekend started, and it'll be a 54-51 victory. It was a little bit closer. 18 of 53 from the field, shooting 34%. 2 of 17, shooting 11% for the Hornets. And 16 of 26 from the free throw line, shooting 61%. Bama State was able to get 28 points in the paint, and their largest lead in this ball game was 8. And then, of course, they ended out last night at UAPB on the road, 29 of 26, shooting 42%, 8 of 26 from the free. Both these teams, come on, man. Bama State shooting 8 of 26, UAPB shooting 7 of 27 from the three-point line.
Oh,
30% and 25%. But from the free throw, 17 and 22 for Bama State, shooting 77%. UAPB had a lead in this game. Their largest lead was 6 points, but Bama State was able to close it out 83-72 against the Golden Lions. And then what I think was the big game, the 3-time defending Swac tournament champions, Texas Southern, comes into Baton Rouge, takes on Southern University Saturday night. And what a hell of a game. Southern found a way under first-year head coach Kevin Johnson to win 58-51. Jaguars shooting 18 of 53, 34% shooting, 2 of 13 from the three-point line for 15%, but 20 of 30 from the free throw line, shooting 66%. At one time, the Tigers of Texas Southern led by 10, but Southern's largest lead in this ball game was 13. And then they closed it out Monday night against Prairie View, winning 79-58, putting an exclamation mark on both the Texas team to start the season. The Jaguars shot 28 of 58. 48%, 9 of 22 from the three-point line, shooting 40%, and 14 of 20 from the free throw line, shooting 70%. Prairie View never led at no point in this game, and Southern's largest lead was 24, and that's how you have your undefeated teams that so far started off SWAC conference play.
I absolutely love it, man. Great breakdown. The team that I'm gonna have to check out this Bethune-Cookman team. They might be remember that Florida Gulf Conference team, the
Florida Gulf Coast.
Yeah, no, it was that team that it was like they called themselves Lob City that one year in March Madness.
Florida Gulf Coast, I believe.
Yeah.
Something like that. Florida Gulf something.
Yeah, I hope it like.
Hey, I saw it, but whether it's against FAMU or not, but I think Bethune-Cookman is a team to check out. But we'll continue to see what it looks like with them as the season. It was just game 1 for them of the conference play, and for their weekend in Jackson State, they both played 1 game apiece. So things heat up a little bit more. But I have to say I'm impressed with both the Alabama teams, although Pine Bluff and Valley, not much of competition, but it's the fact of how lonely that road trip can be traveling the Delta between Mississippi and Arkansas for the weekend, and then Southern being able to handle both Texas schools. I was impressed with Texas Southern. Texas Southern, That is a true rivalry on the hardwood of two basketball programs. And for Southern to get that done, I was impressed with first-year head coach Kevin Johnson.
Nah, he's having a hell of a season as a first year. Listen, I know Zion Harmon. He from Maryland. Come on, man. He from Baltimore. Like, I know about him. Last year he was having, like, when I saw him play last year, it just seems like everything comes so easy for him. I haven't checked him out this year, but last year, getting his feet underneath of him, seemed like everything was coming real easy for him. All right, let's go to the women. Love me some women's basketball. All right. Got UAPB, Southern, Bethune-Cookman, and those bad girls from Jackson State. If you don't know, this is Bethune-Cookman coach. So I forgot, what's her name? Zarnell, something like that. I had it. I totally forgot. Janelle Creighton. There you go. All right, P, what you got?
Start from the bottom once again. Jackson State, a team who finished last year as the regular season champs in the conference, got knocked off in the semifinal as the #1 seed. They're trying to come back this year stronger than ever, and they got a big victory against Alcorn State, 74-46. The Tigers of Jackson State women's basketball team shoot 19 of 55 for 34%. They shoot 9 of 27 from the three-point line for 33% also, and free throw line, 27 of 35 for 77%. The women teams of Jackson State women's basketball, the Lady Tigers, however they want to be called, congratulations. They're 1-0. Bethune-Cookman, hey, all over FAMU's ass this weekend. Huh?
Boy, I said, boy.
Hey, just couldn't help themselves. 80-76 as Bethune-Cookman women's basketball teams get the victory, 28 of 53 shooting from the field for 52%, 4 of 12 from the three-point line for 33%, Scotty, and 20 of 32 from the free throw line, shooting 62%. Bethune-Cookman women's basketball team largest lead in that game at one point was 15 points against FAMU. Then you move up and you look at Southern University. Southern's women's basketball team gets a big victory against Texas Southern on Saturday. The Star Conference play 64-45. The Lady Jaguars 27 of 74 for 36% around the field, 3 of 14 from the three-point line for 21%, and 7 of 12 from the free throw line for 58%. And then against Sandy Pugh, this is a game I like. Sandy Pugh, former head coach at Southern University, leaves and goes take over at Prairie View. And her former assistant coach, Coach Carlos Funch, is now the head coach, has had success. He won the Swac last year, upsetting Jackson State in the semifinal, beating UAPB in the championship game. And his team closes out the weekend series as well against the Texas teams, 2-0. And the Southern gets the victory, 84-56 over Sandy Pugh, and the former coach from Southern now at Prairie View. The Southern's women's team shot 29 of 63 for 46%, 5 of 12 from the three-point line for 41%, and 21 of 27 from the free throw line, shooting 77%. And I'm going to save the Golden Lions for last because this is a team that we talked about after they beat Arkansas and won some other games. This is a team to watch out for. Coach Don Thornton is doing a phenomenal job.
Yes, sir.
Pine Bluff. And Pine Bluff's going to have to do what we saw with FAMU, how they kind of waited to the last second to make something shake for Willie Simmons. Hey, Don Thornton, the best thing happening at UAPB when you look at women's basketball and where they're at, and the possibility of what they could be playing for a championship for the first time since joining the SWAC in '96, and now having this opportunity. They go 2-0 over the weekend, getting a 75-67 victory over Alabama A&M. UAPB's women's basketball team shooting 25 of 54 for 46%, 4 of 19 from the three-point line, shooting 21%, Scotty, and 21 of 30 from the free throw line, shooting 70%. They closed it out in a big game against Alabama State in dominating fashion. 85-52, UAPB won this ball game.
Get off the floor with them. Stop playing with them girls. Come on, Don.
UAPB's women's basketball, 30 of 76 in this game, shooting 39%, 3 of 18 from the three-point line, shooting 16%, and 22 of 34 from the free throw line, shooting 64%. Guess how many points in the paint UAPB's women's basketball team got against Alabama State?
50.
48. You almost won the prize. Alabama State women's basketball team never led at any point in that ball game. UAPB dominating in both victories against A&M and Alabama State.
Let me get some time for this UAPB because it's not too many teams I can talk about, but I do watch the UAPB girls. Let me just say this. I've been saying this. That girl Zay Green, she different. Okay. That girl Zay Green, different. And Maya Pete, I like how Maya playing. Maya playing with that aggression. The big girl in the middle, she playing with the aggression. She got the drop step now. She got the little baby hook to the game. I'm loving it. And I'm telling people, if Zay Green was playing last year with UAPB, it's not even close. They running away with it. But I want to be very clear when I'm talking about Jackson State. Jackson State is like the Spurs. It's boring. It ain't exciting, but they know what winning look like. It's boring. It's not exciting, but they know what winning looks like. And let me say this. That girl Bowler has taken a step forward. Number one bowler. I love Maya Crumpton. She's always been my favorite player on the team and things like that. I love that. I love, but Bowler, she's taking that next step, being that go-to scorer for this team, and they need more of that. The shooting has to get better for Jackson, right? It has, like, they got to get better at shooting. That's not their strength. They got to get better at shooting. But just pure domination of the paint and defensively, because if you rocking with Tamika, if you on Coach Reed's team, you gonna play some defense. You gonna play some defense. Now they gonna lock you up. They hitting the floor. They doing all that. You know what I'm saying? Now, let me say about FAMU. Listen, until FAMU stops recruiting models and they start getting some juvenile detention center girls up in there, they not winning nothing. Now, don't get me wrong. Grizzle, she bad. Both on the court and in the pictures, okay? She bad. I think they got what's another girl? Shout out to Liv for Hoops on Twitter. It's another girl, Orlancy or something like that. I think she dropped 29 last week. She pretty too. So they got some pretty girls that can ball. But you ain't gonna win nothing unless you got some juvenile detention center kids up in there, and they ain't got none. Every one of them should be on the runway. I'm like, every girl should be on the runway. Your whole starting five should be on the runway. I don't agree with that.
They need a little ruggedness in there, huh?
No, they need a couple girls with some full arm tats. they ain't got no girls with no tats, bro. Like, they over there looking like they about to be Victoria's Secret models. Like, are we playing basketball or are we auditioning for The Bachelor? What are we doing? Okay, so I can't wait
to see them when they come to Baton Rouge.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna see them. Ponytails, they're gonna be doing their warm-ups like this. Just
I bet they got a lot of Instagram followers.
What?
Yeah.
Listen, FAMU's girls lead the league in Instagrams. Okay, like they. I think one girl. I think one girl last year had like 25,000 or 50K. Like them girls are pretty. They ain't winning, but they pretty.
Her DMs is crazy.
Dog, they pretty. I ain't gonna take
man, what you think the alum them old heads sliding in that DM saying? Campbell like, baby, I got all the weave you need, baby. Hey, come mess with me, baby. Hey, I had you looking good game day. Come
mess with me.
I had you laid, baby.
Hey, listen. Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
I'm just
is the Mr. Campbell the reason they like that? Is he the weave provider for the women's basketball team?
No, I don't know what it is about FAMU. Okay, I don't know what it is about FAMU. Like, there's like maybe this. If you give this coach another couple of years, I didn't think she should be hired anyway. But that's neither here nor there. If you give this coach another couple of years, maybe she'll get some full body tats, some juvenile detention center girls. A couple bounce back from juvie. You know what I'm saying? Like, but. You can't build a whole team. You can't build a whole team with runway models in the Swac. It just ain't gonna work. I'm sorry. Like, you're not winning a championship with runway models, especially when you look across the Jackson State girls. They got girls I would be scared to play. Like, they're like, hey, do you check out? I'm like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? So UAPB, Kariah Beck and Zay Green, they dogs. Maya Pete, a dog. Grizzle is a dog. Like, but she's just a pretty dog. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
I don't think we should be referring to women as dogs.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, because what sound like in my head.
What do you call a woman that's good at basketball?
A good basketball player.
Oh, that's weak, bro.
Can't be no dog. Can't be no female dog.
I mean, I don't. They're
That's
really
the slippery
good.
slope.
They're really good. I mean, if you're a basketball player, they're a baller. They're ballers. They got ballers.
Yeah, they're ballers.
They're ballers. They're ballers. You know what I'm saying? So they some true definition ballers. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I like that. That's
yeah, they some ballers. So it is what Miss Griffin said, an athlete. Oh, they're athletes. I mean, that's just call them student athletes. They're
just the female dog is people say they dogs are just
hoopers. There you go, hoopers. There you go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They some hoopers. They got hoopers. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know.
I like it though. Now, yeah, I like that. From now on, that's what we did. Hoopers and ballers.
Right? Hoopers and ballers. There's some hoopers. You know what I'm saying? They got some hoopers over there. But girls will be hooping, but she a pretty hooper, but they be hooping. Then they got this little skinny white girl. Then they got this little skinny white girl who she be trotting on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Play a little defense and stuff. You know, fam, you just different, bro.
You gotta make sure her eyelash is good for the game, huh?
You know, they got curlers. They got curlers on the sideline. They be over there.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, they got curling irons on this. Gotta stay fly. Gotta stay fly. Gotta stay fly. So they be doing heat presses right on the sideline. Stop playing. Anyway,
let me help Mr. Campbell out. Mr. Campbell, you ought to become the official weave provider of Swac women's basketball for every women's team around the Swac. Help those young, because you know, as much as they scoring bucks, they trying to look good too.
Yeah.
You know they trying to look good too.
Thank you. Perfect. A team full of Angel Reese's. That's really what it is. And she be hooping though. But you know what I'm saying? She be hooping though. But you know
what that mean? Angel Reese like she bad?
Oh, Angel Reese is pretty. Yeah.
I'm just asking. You know, they call it a Bayou Barbie. So you know.
Hey, and you know, she from Maryland.
I've run into her numerous times around Baton Rouge.
You know what I'm saying? You know, she and from Maryland. Just want to be very shouldn't be no Bayou Barbie. She from Maryland. You know what I'm saying? So,
you know, you get adopted when you come down to Louisiana. You know, they did Joe Burrow the same way when they started spelling his name with the French.
The French way. Yeah.
So you know, when you come down here, you just automatically like I'm Perry, but they may call me Pierre. You know.
Pierre White, you know.
Hey, it get real fancy on you quick down here. You got to watch yourself.
Yeah, I like that. That's the Pierre White. All right, let's get back into this national weekend. Talk a little CFP. Listen, go Big Blue. Let me tell you a story of why I am a Michigan fan, and I hope my wife doesn't hear me. I just see she's an Ohio State fan, so she's really gonna hate this. But let me tell you why I'm a Michigan fan, in my experience of why I'm a Michigan. So when I was in the military, and I was stationed at Fort Polk, Louisiana. Don't ever go there. Hottest place on the earth. So
we gotta train our soldiers, man.
Hottest place on earth, right? So when I was at Fort Polk, they have this thing called vet tickets, and they would give you tickets. Like if somebody, you know, what white people do is they buy tickets at a bowl game, expecting their team to be there, and when the team doesn't go, they give those tickets away, they sell them or whatever. So they gave it to an organization called Vet Tickets. So they gave the tickets to the vets, and we got a chance to go to the Sugar Bowl. It was the first time I've ever been to the Sugar Bowl. It was the first time I ever been to New Orleans. It was a great experience. Shoelace was playing at that time. It was against Virginia.
Denard Robinson.
Yeah, Denard Robinson. Shoelace was playing at that time, and they won. Dog, we was like at the field, like we was like right, and I had the best time of my life. Okay, I've been a Michigan fan ever since. Now I don't got no Michigan gear, but you know, if they come on, I root for them and everything like that. In the house, you know, I don't say nothing in the house because Key, you know, she Ohio State fan, so I just keep it low key. You know what I'm saying?
Damn the thing of all the things y'all household could be divided about, Ohio State and Michigan, like. What was the odds of that shit?
I know, right? Like it's weird. It's weird. And she from Ohio, so that's different. You know what I'm saying? Like she born from Ohio, so that's different for her. But for me, you know, I just so happened to slip and fall and bump my head and became a then she's staring at me right now. You know, I just slipped and fell and became a Michigan fan, go Big Blue. And so now we here, you know what I'm saying? But go ahead, break down the game for us.
Man, it was a hell of a game up until that damn fourth quarter. And listen, I'm not even gonna lie, Scotty. When I watched the first quarter in the run game of Michigan, I thought this thing was about to become a blowout.
I did too.
It just gave all. But something told me, and I was talking to the guys that was next to me. I said, man, one thing about this level, coaches adjust. And that's exactly what Washington's defense did for the next 3 quarters into that last 7 minutes of the game. They adjusted, and you start to see that run total, that run yards for Michigan dwindle. It wasn't as much as you saw in the beginning. Washington in this ball game, 17 first downs, 2 of 14 on third down. Both teams struggled on third down, and 2 of 5 on fourth down. 301 yards total, 255 in the air, 46 on the ground. 2 interceptions in this ball game. And another stat I'm going to talk about are the penalties. 5 penalties for 30 yards. But although it was 5 penalties, it was how costly those penalties were for Washington, that they were getting flagged for those holding calls.
Yeah.
Now, one of those calls, I myself personally on a completed pass down the field, did not think it was holding.
Is that the one, the left tackle kind of like arm?
He was going down, and he kind of just like swished him down as he was going. I didn't see a pull of the jersey, and I think maybe the angle of where the official was, because he saw the way he went down, felt like he was slung and held on to. But I thought that was just a good push fall. I thought that's what that was, but that was crucial in the ball game, because that was a first down that went down the field and drove them back and had to go back 5+, lose all of that yardage that they picked up. But Michigan in this ball game, 16 first down, 1 of 10 on third down. But that one time they converted on that third down, that was the biggest conversion of the game, because it was late in the fourth quarter, and it was a drive that ultimately helped push Michigan all the way to victory. And that was when J.J. McCarthy caught out on that 3rd and long, and Washington's defense held up, and he just took off right up the freaking middle, man, and got the first down. And that was huge in that ball game. When you talk about 1 of 10 on third down, that one conversion, that's all they needed on third down to make this game a complete difference. 443 total yards, 140 in the air, 303 yards on the ground, Scotty, for Michigan. You know a stat that they did that I love?
What?
0 turnovers.
You love them 0 turnovers.
Hey, when I see a game with 0 turnovers, that's all right with me. Michael Penix Jr., right? Heisman Trophy candidate, a guy who can spin it. Hey, I think he woke the world up on who he really was when people saw him against Texas in the Sugar Bowl, right? I have been watching them all season, but a lot of people don't watch Pac-12 games. You're playing late at night, kind of a little footballed out and ready to watch something else by that point in the evening. But if you watched him all season, he's been pretty good. But like I always say, you pick the worst damn day to have your worst game, Michael Penix Jr. Going 27 to 51, 255 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. His main target, Jalen McMillan, 6 receptions for 33 yards and a touchdown on the other side. I call him the Great White Hope, J.J. McCarthy for Michigan. 10 of 18, 140 yards passing. He also had 4 carries for 31 yards. Blake Corum, 21 carries for 134 yards, 2 touchdowns. Oh, man, and Donovan Edwards, 6 carries, 104 yards, 2 touchdowns. Michigan running back room off the chain. Michigan O-line off the chain, and they found a way to get it done, man. It just seemed like everybody could run from it. If it wasn't number 2, it was number 7. It was number 20. It was like, man, who else can do it?
No, they were just bringing Bama's off the sideline like, hey, you run the ball. 20,
and that's
30
how
yards.
I felt, man. And now the big question, what people want to know, is this it for Jim Harbaugh in Michigan? You know, does he now take his talent to go back to the NFL, or does he leave college football? You know, the NCAA they scratching to just get a piece of Jim Harbaugh. They suspended him a couple games towards the end of the season. He came back. They won their playoff game. You look at what he's been able to do. He's beaten Ohio State 3 years in a row. He's won the conference 3 years in a row. He's been to the college football playoffs. He beat big, bad Alabama and Nick Saban, and now he's ascended to the top of the college football world by winning the national championship. And now it's saying, hey, what more is there accomplished? Just a few years ago, he was on the hot seat, and people didn't like the direction of where Michigan was going, but he found a way to get it done.
Let me say this, and I'm going to keep saying it, and this is the problem that I have with HBCU coaches. I mean, HBCU mindsets and how they view their coaching, right? And this is why I said when Southern got rid of Dawson Odom, I said, that's not a smart move, right? My thing is this. I would rather deal with a coach that gets me to the dance than a coach that can't even get me in the room. Like you're 6 years. He was at the doorstep every time with Michigan. And then, but the only way you kick down the door is if you're at the door. You can't kick a door down if you're never getting to the door. So for me, the transition that he had after the 6 years and Michigan's belief in Harbaugh, because there were rumors of that 0-6 against Ohio State, that was about to get him fired. That was legit about to get him fired. They stick with it. He's beaten Ohio State senseless for the last 3 years, 3 straight Big Ten titles, and now 15-0 national champions. Like, and it's because you would rather be relevant and in the discussion than having the turnover and the perpetual turnover and trying to figure it out all over again. So shout out to Michigan for sticking with Harbaugh in the situation and going forward to this. Michael Penix, to me, he was shook. After the second quarter, he was shook. He was seeing things that weren't there, but that front by Michigan was so. I mean, that number 55, amazing. That's a big boy playing DN. I think he probably gonna be D tackle in the NFL, but you know him playing DN, amazing. The DBs, tall, rangy guys that you're throwing to, and the passes that Michael Penix usually would hit, like he did against Texas, he missed all those.
He was selling the ball. Now he had to zip. Everything he was throwing all night was just selling.
It was just high, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, like he had a slot fade they were coming into the red zone, and it's a ball that the guy couldn't even try to make a play on because it was so high. It was a lot of that for the night. I still think, let me just say this. I think JJ McCarthy is a glorified Greg McElroy from Alabama. You know, when McElroy was making those runs with Derrick Henry and the running back before Henry that won the Heisman. Mark Ingram. I think he's that guy. Like, he's mobile, but nothing about him seems special to me. Like, I don't see Trevor Lawrence freshman, junior year type stuff. Like, I'm not seeing that in JJ McCarthy. I think he's a great game manager, and he makes the plays when they're there. So we'll see how it continues to go forward as this Michigan team, you know, with or without Jim Harbaugh. But I wouldn't be surprised if Harbaugh goes I don't think he's going to the Bears, but I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to the Chargers. I think that's a good setup. You know, LA.
It's time. I mean, NCAA just, man, they want Harbaugh. I mean, they're not going to let him rest. And him being there is not going to be settling for him. He's going to constantly have his back up against the wall because of this whole thing of talking about stealing signals, stealing signs from other teams. So I think get out while the going is good, man. This is good. This is how you leave out of there. This is the time to do it. And what I'll be even more excited about next year, Scotty, I'll be even more excited about the 12-team playoff.
I'm too geeked. Because to me, that's what football is all about. Yeah. Like, you're turning NFL. You're turning college football into March Madness, which everybody loves, right? One game, give everybody an opportunity. Give everybody an opportunity. Because what this really going to turn into is the Big Ten and SEC Invitational. That's what it's going to turn into.
That's it.
And
the thing about it is, you look around at the college football landscape of players sitting out of these bowl games, you know, now because they don't feel like there's nothing to play for. These bowl games don't hold the same weight because this is a different type of athlete these days. You know, I think before you had a lot of pride of guys want to go out and play that last game if this is it in my collegiate career. These days, these guys are saving themselves because they're thinking beyond collegiate career. And so if a championship isn't on the line, you having guys like Jaden Daniels at LSU. He sits out against Wisconsin. You know, 10 years ago, a Heisman Trophy winner don't sit out no matter what. He's playing in that bowl game, right? Yeah. And because of that, but check this. Now that you get the interest now with 12 teams in the college football playoff, do you even need the rest of the bowls at this point? Because the intention is not going to matter. Everybody's going to now watch now you have a true playoff. And it's like, I watched the playoff. But it then looks at the same way like at the FCS. You have an FCS playoff, then you just got this random bowl, the Celebration Bowl, of two teams over here. The Celebration Bowl seems to have more interest, more fan support, and more than what the playoff has as a whole. Except if you, i.e., Montana, the flagship school, right?
Yeah.
Because you look at the support that they have. But now, do you want the rest of those bowl games that people tend to watch and call meaningless, or do you keep them because now you can bet on these games? Gambling is the root of all of this now, But it just kind of puts in perspective, where do you go now? Because with a playoff, I just want to watch the playoff football at this point. What's the point of watching them other bowls when you know their stars are going to sit out? And you're just going to be basically watching a glorified scrimmage.
Yeah, it's a glorified scrimmage. You're absolutely right. And I think expanding it to is big. Expanding it to 20, 18, 24 teams. That's the only way you keep kids engaged, if they have opportunities to battle for a national championship. If they're not playing for a national championship, it's no point. And I'm gonna be honest, if my son was in one of these bowl games, I'm like, bro, and he's a draft pick, you're not playing. You're not. It don't make no sense unless you're going for a national championship. And if I'm being honest, that don't make no sense. But I'm gonna be honest with you. Millions over a trophy, I'll take millions every day. Okay,
and that's what college football is now. That's why Nick Saban has lost what he had before to be able to stockpile these guys, because he just walked in with rings and the rings sold it. Now you got to walk in with a checkbook, money card, a bag. Like, it's more than the championship these days. And that's why you seeing these guys. Nebraska coach told you best. If you want a good quarterback, quality quarterback in the FBS level, right now in the Power 5 is going to cost you $1 to $2 million to get you a quarterback. And you see these quarterbacks leaving. Take a Cameron Ward from Washington State when he shopped himself down in Florida. Hey, Miami, Florida State, I'm here. Well, who talking what? What's the money talk? And that's the game these days.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's a tough business, but the college is getting paid, so the kids need to get paid. Dr. Love, I saw your question. We're gonna get to in a little bit. Here we go. Listen, I thought I might bring this back since we got some playoff picks.
Man, you should have gave me a heads up,
bro. I literally just made this. I'm gonna just recap it after the. I'm gonna write it down. But I'm gonna just recap it afterwards. So Here we go. AFC. We got Cleveland and Houston, Miami, Kansas City, Pitt, and Buffalo. Perry.
I'll start with the top. I'll start with the 4 versus 5. Houston and C.J. Stroud has been something to watch this year. And I think C.J. Stroud, being the young buck here in this league, man, has turned a lot of heads. And he has a receiver in Nico Collins who did me well in fantasy football. So I like the position that Houston is in. Cleveland struggling from the quarterback position, having all these guys coming in. I mean, Joe Flacco for a second I thought was going to really be something, man. But, just up and down. I'm going to go Houston in this one. I'm going to take the 4 over the 5 in that ball game.
All right, I'm going Cleveland. I think that defense is legit. Cleveland's defense is absolutely legit. And if you get to C.J. Stroud enough, you can definitely make a change. So you're going Houston. I'm going Cleveland on that one. Next up, I'll pop it off of Miami, Kansas City. Listen, Miami has been on a spiral going down. They had a chance to win the division, being the number 2 seed. They lose to Buffalo late in that game. Kansas City, they haven't looked like Kansas City. The defense has really played well. Offensively hasn't been what it is. It's hard to win in Arrowhead Stadium against Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to go with Mahomes on this one. I think he pulls it out. I think it's a close game, but I got Kansas City winning by 10.
This game really could be a toss-up because Kansas City has not looked like the powerhouse we've seen before with them. And then you look at Miami, you have Tua, you have Tyreek Hill. And what really helped Miami this year, what I think you since seen started to deal with the injuries, is their run game.
Yeah.
Most of being one of the best. I mean, once again, if you dealt with fantasy football, this guy was one of the best performers week in and week out until the injuries started to pick up on him as the season and the wear and tear. But Miami, if they can get the run game back going, they are a team to watch out for. They are still a good football team. But I'm gonna rock with Patrick Mahomes in this one, and they look like they had their ups and downs at one point in this year. But I'm gonna go with Kansas City. I think Patrick Mahomes can get it done. And if the game is in Kansas City,
Yeah.
it's gonna probably be cold on the Miami boys going up
Oh
there.
yeah. And
Yeah,
that's a
and
good
shout out to
point.
my boy Teron Armstead, a UAPB grad,
Yeah,
playing for Miami.
Pro Bowl. Yeah, as well. He got invited to the Pro Bowl. Yeah, the wide receivers from Kansas City are not. No, I can play. I can go out there and catch some more balls than them. No homo. All right.
Who did you pick?
I pick Kansas City.
Okay, we both KC. Okay.
Yeah, we KC on that one. And snow in the forecast. I like Pacheco in that game. I do like Pacheco in that game.
Pacheco, when he's healthy,
he's good.
He is a great pass option out of the backfield for Patrick Mahomes, and that's where he gets the best of his work. Get him in space, man. He can really go to work.
Pittsburgh versus Buffalo. I'll pop this one off. Listen, I know Pittsburgh has this feel-good story of the 17 seasons and Mike Tomlin pulls it out of his ass again, and they're a bad team. Okay, they're not a good team. They're an average team that does average things, and Mike Tomlin is just averagely managing them to get here. Buffalo, the only way Buffalo loses this game if Josh Allen self-implodes, and he's capable of doing it. Oh, he is capable of doing it. But I got Buffalo by 2 touchdowns. Like, this game shouldn't even really be close, if I'm being honest. Buffalo by 2 touchdowns.
Listen, Pittsburgh is always a team that you can never count out. And Mike Tomlin, once again, like you said, he's shown everybody. They was just talking about firing them. It was a lot of bad mojo going around Pittsburgh in terms of what's the direction. And look who they found themselves in the playoffs against Buffalo. Josh Allen is a guy that can get it done with his arm. And he's a white boy that can run with his legs, man. And I think I'll take Buffalo in this one over Pitt. But something tells me I wouldn't be surprised without the slightest of a doubt that Pitt could possibly pull an upset nobody saw coming. And that's due in the NFL in the playoffs because it is the NFL at the end of the day. And shit does happen. And Pittsburgh, if there's a team I think that's upset worthy, I think Pittsburgh against Buffalo is upset worthy. But I'm going to rock with Josh Allen. I think he'll at least get them past that first round.
All right, there we go. Let's get into the NFC. I'm going to go down to go up because you already know what team I'm rocking with.
No, we'll start there then. Start with who you rocking with.
I'm going down to go up.
Okay.
Yeah. Philly and Tampa Bay. Listen, Philly had the easiest closing schedule in the NFC East. They've lost 5 of their last 6. They just lost to the New York City Giants. I got to go Tampa Bay on this one. I think Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield has Tampa Bay looking really good. Mike Evans, Ronald White, those guys are playing well. Philly, Chris Godwin, I gotta go Tampa on this one. I think Philly's is unraveling before our eyes. So I'm gonna go Tampa Bay on this one.
I'm gonna go. I like Philly and what Baker's doing. But I think Jalen gets it together. Although that locker room, they have reports of talking about AJ Brown having issues with the head coach. They had said that they had earlier about a month ago that the team got together was talking about Jalen Hurts and ball security. And so internally, the Eagles seem like there could be some straws that's pulling them back slowly, and you just waiting to see which one is going to be the one to break the camel's back. And I hope this is not one, but I just think Jalen Hurts, even though they struggled and they look bad, I think they can get past Tampa Bay and sneak this. So I'm going to go to Eagles in this one.
All righty. Got you down for Philly. All right, coming up next, P's on you, Detroit, LA Rams.
Man, Detroit, look at this, man. How long has it been since we just really was high on Detroit at any point? And then when you look at the other side with the Rams, this is out of all the games, this is one that I think you can really flip a coin, truly.
I agree. I 100% agree.
Like, both these teams don't just pop out to do a lot, but both these teams are what I call sneaky good. Like, you really have to watch yourself in this one. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams, as the 6, can get something done. But something in me, I think I'm gonna go Detroit, but I just would not be surprised. Like the other side, I would be surprised if the Rams, just like the Steelers, this is another one of those upset alerts. I'm thinking if you have one, Steelers over Buffalo, Rams over Detroit is upset alerts. But I'm gonna go Detroit in this one. I'm gonna roll with the third seed. I think they get it done.
Listen, I was so happy when the Rams beat the 49ers because I didn't want to see the Rams. I didn't want to see them. I'm not. The one thing you never want to see a Sean McVay team is if they got a running game. And this year, they have that with Kyron Williams and that running attack that they have. They got Puka. They got the white boy Cooper Cup. And now listen, this is a revenge game. You got Jared Goff playing against his old team. You got Matthew Stafford playing against his old team. This game is prime and ready to go. I got the LA Rams coming out with this one because listen, you don't want to see Sean McVay with a run game. I'm telling you, if you don't know, if you haven't seen his offense, it is predicated off running the football. It reminds you of those old Mike Shanahan teams to where they just run the rock and then they throw it off of that. So I'm going with the LA Rams on this one. I think they pull off the upset. They are flying high. They're coming in hot just like you want to in the playoffs. And it is what it is. I got the LA Rams. And also, yeah, James Houston's supposed to be back for the playoffs. So, and Detroit lost Sam Laporta due to injury in that last game. So it could be something. Now, LA Rams defense is a little shaky. So I wouldn't be surprised if St. Amaro Brown, he goes off for a big game as well. So let's go. Dallas and Green Bay.
Oh, goddamn.
Barry, let me get some time with this one.
Take your time, Pastor.
Let me get some time. Let me just say this. I have been scarred by Green Bay too many times. 2016, the catch, no catch with Dez Bryant. 2019, I believe, with the Aaron Rodgers rollout left throw to the tight end on the sideline. Mason Crosby kicks a field goal to win the game with like 30 seconds left. I've been scarred too many times. That was Dak Prescott's first playoff game. So we owed them an ass whooping. And I mean, I need it to be a glory. And if Dallas this is the best year for Dallas to reach the NFC Championship. Let me tell you why. Because we do not have to see San Francisco until the championship game. We don't. And San Francisco has a way harder route than we do. Right? So I got the Cowboys winning this game by 2 touchdowns. Green Bay's defense is not like that. Green Bay's offense is pretty good. The wide receivers do not scare me. The running game has been so. Jordan Love is that guy. We got to get pressure, and can my boy Micah get some holding calls? So I got Dallas winning this game 31-17.
I don't know.
31-17.
Man, you could have just said you got to win it. Don't give yourself a score because then that's going to make your blood pressure go up even more.
31-17, but Dallas wins. But go ahead.
I think the difference in this one that you've seen in the past, Dallas got this at home and don't have to go up there to the frozen tundra of Green Bay on a cold January, Sunday, Saturday, whatever the hell day. But Green Bay is another one of those teams, Scotty, that's sneaky good, which is why they made the playoffs. They may not be just the best weekend, but they are sneaky good. And I think I want to see, can Dallas get out this first round and actually give me a statement win, Dallas, for a first round game and it's a 2 seed. Give me a statement, right? And if there's been a game, I think for a while, the Cowboys fans really want to see is a statement game, especially in postseason. It's against a damn team that's really been a thorn in your side, and that's the Packers of Green Bay. This is a game that Dak Prescott and I think in company, they're going to have to really step up and give the fans at home a statement win and get the nation talking about the Cowboys. If not, it's going to be a tough day on ESPN with Stephen A. come Monday.
Listen, if we lose this game, everybody.
I'm going Dallas.
Okay. Everybody got to go. Everybody. I don't mind. Can't get rid of the players. Coaching staff got to go. Mike McCarthy got to go. I'm just put Dan Quinn in the head coaching position. Get a new OC in here. Mike McCarthy got to go. You cannot lose this game. Okay, Dak Prescott has been playing out of his mind good football. It's the most confident I've seen Dak throw the ball in forever, right? CeeDee Lamb is coming to his own. Dak has got Brandon Cooks and Michael Gallup coming on. Got Jake Ferguson looking like a great pickup in the draft. So this
Ferguson
game
is the tight end, correct?
Yeah, Jake Ferguson is the tight end, right? We're listen, this D-line is like that. Like, this is the year. We got to put it all together.
Spoken like a true cowboy. Hey, oh my God.
Okay, we gotta put it together.
This
listen,
is the year.
Listen,
every Cowboy fan every year.
Listen. But listen, P, I'm so desperate. Okay, I'm so desperate. I'll just take the NFC Championship game. It don't even gotta be the Super Bowl. I'll take just being at the I'm that guy. I'm just glad we're here. Okay, like, that's where I'm at as a Cowboys fan.
No, you're not, because if you get that far, you're gonna want that one more. Just because you're just gonna feel like finally we can shut everybody up. You're gonna want that one more because everybody still gonna talk about you bad if you get that far and still don't bring it home.
It's fine.
Then next year is gonna be the same thing you just said.
Listen, I'm fine.
It's our year. So you got to have one of these years finally be your year. Come on now.
Listen, I'll take an NFC Championship game. That's how desperate I am at this point. Okay, it's not even Super Bowl or bust. It's just NFC Championship or bust.
You know what's crazy? All your kids, all they've heard from their dad every year of their life is this is our year. And they've yet to see it. Your kids, their whole life just know this is our year, Dad.
Yeah. My son loves CeeDee Lamb. My son talk about the Cowboys. He just as bad as me. He's just as bad as me.
Waiting on that day for his dear old dad to see a championship head on back to the Cowboy facility.
Listen, the worst thing about having a kid who loves football but doesn't understand like the pain of football. Like, he's just so bubbly about it. Like when we lost to Buffalo, he was like, "Dad, why did we lose?" And as a fan, as a fan, I want to be like, "Shut the hell up, son! Like, we lost because we weren't good." I can't say that.
Don't take them Cowboy frustrations out on your son, man. That's what because he's trying to figure out this world and why his dad even cheering for a team that continues to lose. And he asks you a question. You got sisters.
I did. I hate when he does that. Every time we lose, he be like, "Dad, why did we lose?" And I'm like, "Son, we lost because we weren't good enough." Like, I get so frustrated.
This grown folks business. Don't worry about why we lost.
Go to bed. That's yeah.
Or like, take your bag, get your egg. Go take your damn bag.
Or like, let's say it's a Sunday night game, right? So he can't watch the whole game with me, right? So he'll stay up and watch like 2 quarters with me. He's like, "I hope we win, Dad." So he'll go to bed. He wake up the next day, we done lost. "Dad, did we win Sunday Night Football?" I'm like,
hell no. If you didn't hear me cheering to wake you up, then no.
I can't stand it.
How old were you the last time the Cowboys won a championship? Won a Super Bowl?
6. Right in the era, right where my kids are right now. Right in that age group where my kids at right now. It's perfect timing, Cowboys. It's perfect.
So, okay, y'all lose this game and you want everybody fired. Do you want Jim Harbaugh?
I'll take him. I'll take him.
Oh, you like that?
I'll take him.
You sprouted like a damn plant.
I will take him. I will take Jim Harbaugh today. I'll take him. Absolutely. In a heartbeat. If we lose this first round playoff, fire Mike McCarthy, bring in Jim Harbaugh. I'm cool with it. I am absolutely cool with it. Absolutely. 100%. 1,000%. Pay him whatever you want. Give him that John Gruden contract. 10 years. $120 million. You know what I'm saying?
That joker, they just keep finding a way to find a job for him. Oh, man, I heard he might try to join the Saints, and have him and Carr back together. Let me ask you about that Jameis Winston thing, right? Everybody's talking about it.
I was just about to bring this up by G.
Jameis Winston, and first of all, anybody, and I live right here in New Orleans, in Baton Rouge, but when in Rome, you do as the Romans, as they say. And the Saints and the Falcons, that's a rivalry. And I don't think people quite understand how much of a hated rival. Like, I put that's Southern and Jackson. Can't stand it. I don't give a damn. It's just, it ain't like Southern and Grambling where, like I don't like you, but then I cheer for you because you my cousin. Like, if you Atlanta, New Orleans don't give a damn if you they cousin or brother, it's fuck you till the wheels fall off.
Yeah.
And I understand, Jameis, he doing this thing. I think everybody's problem was the fact that it was in victory formation, like to take the knee. But I don't give a damn. In rivalry, sometimes you just gotta smush it in their face.
Yeah, you gotta rub it. You gotta rub the salt in. I
like Jameis' response, boy. Wasn't that gold the way he responded to that in that interview? Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. Oh
my God, dude, that dude is so hilarious. I wish we could do a show with that dude, bro. He is hilarious how he can just give himself to the media in the way that he does. He's a character that reminds me how quirky like Les Miles was at LSU. Mm-hmm. Funny without even realizing he being funny because he just being himself. But the fact is that team sticking by him and that they did that for Williams, bro. Hey, if that's worth your coach getting cussed out, then it is what it is.
Yeah. The thing for me is only the victory formation. Like, I run the score up, right? Like, it's your rivals. You're on the 1 yard line. Go I formation and just run the score up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
first of all, how the hell did Tyrann Mathieu not even get in the end zone on the interception?
I didn't watch the game now. Don't.
Oh my God. It was an interception that got them to where they were at in order to run that play. And that's why Jameis was saying, well, if Tyrann would have got in the end zone, what would have been the difference in terms of the score? It still would have been the same. But I still don't know how the hell Tyrann Mathieu did all of that just to make it to the 1 yard line, bro. It looked like it was so empty and open for him. But
nobody cares about non-playoff teams, so I didn't watch the game. Anyway, I didn't. Who cares? You're not in the playoffs. But my thing is, it was just a victory formation. Like, I just thought that was like, it's a little Bush league. But other than that, run the score up. Run the score up. Listen, if I had the opportunity to put. I love when we run the score up against the Washington Commanders, Redskins. I don't care what you want to call them. Listen, it can be 50-10. Keep going. Okay? Keep going. When we beat the Giants 40-3, or was it 40-0? Then we beat them like 40-0 in the first game. Run it up. Like, I be in my house, me and my son be, run it up. Run it up. So I don't got no issues with it, especially if it's a robbery. But
I thought Shannon Sharp took it a little too far.
He dramatic, man.
It was just like, this guy don't need to be on. He's a little like, bro, why? Everybody who's coming did the way he badmouthed him about Tampa and said, well, Tom Brady took that same team and won the Super Bowl, and then Baker Mayfield. I get it if those guys had success, but damn, because of one play, you didn't have to assassinate the man's entire character.
Yeah, Shannon took that over the top, talking about I'm cutting them and all this, that. Nah, I'm not doing all that. That was a little too much. I had another question for you, P. Says Scotty Perry, if you're the Bears, do you draft Caleb Williams? Let me say this. My top pick in the draft is not Caleb Williams, it's Jaden Daniels. Right? If I was ranking quarterbacks, it would, and I want to be very clear before I say this. I had CJ Stroud as my number one quarterback. I told Dave, I said, Dave, CJ, and I can bring the tweet. Says CJ Stroud is better than Bryce Harper. I said that, or Bryce Young, not hyper, my bad. Bryce Young. And I also said the white boy from Tennessee probably throws one of the best balls I've seen. No homo, right? So I know what I'm talking about. I'm not taking Caleb Williams. It's just something about him I just don't like. I can't. It's not his talent. It's not any of that. I'm not taking him. Now, do I think that the reason why if I'm Chicago, I could possibly take him and try to move Justin Fields, but the issue is once you take Caleb Williams, teams know you're not going to want Justin Fields anymore, so they're not going to offer you premium for your sloppy seconds. So, me personally, I don't even know how Drake May is top 5 in quarterbacks. I don't understand it. That kid is not that good. My rankings is Jaden, Michael Penix, Caleb Williams, and then whoever else you want to throw in there. That's my top 3 for quarterbacks.
I think Jaden Daniels, if you get him, he's basically what you already have with
Justin Fields.
Yeah, I mean, and if I'm gonna rock with one, I'll probably rock with Justin Fields because of the vet. He's getting more and more experience. Jaden Daniels is gonna learn quick, fast, and in a hurry. All that running you did in the SEC.
Oh, that you gotta stop that.
They do that in the league, my boy. So that's what made him the explosive player, this offensive gadget guy out there on the field to be able to do it with his legs as well as his arm. He's going to have to rely so much more on his arm in the league for the longevity and for the success if you're looking for that. Because if you're going after him to draft him, you're telling me this is your guy that you're looking to hopefully get you to the playoffs and deep into the playoffs. And I don't think he has the longevity by the ability that he has that makes him great to be able to do that. If you're going to do that, I think you already got that right now in Justin Fields, which I can see why Caleb Williams' name is brought up. But to me, Caleb Williams just give off, and I hate to say this publicly, but he give off lazy and prima donna to me.
He definitely gives off prima donna. Just something about him. I'm just not a fan. I'm really not. I'm not saying he. And the thing for Justin Fields and Jaden Daniels, Drake May is not legit, bro. Drake May is not that guy. I don't know what people see in that kid. I don't think he's that guy. That's just me personally. But and I'm gonna watch some more film on him, but he don't come off as that guy to me. But with Caleb, first of all, let me back up. With Justin Fields, you have to get a coordinator who builds the offense around Justin Fields and not what he. If you put Justin Fields in that Philadelphia offense last year, they go to the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts and Justin Fields are the same player. Legitimately.
I won't go as far as saying that.
They're not the same player? They don't have the same qualities?
You talk about a dual threat, yeah. But I won't say that they're the same player. They are dual threats.
What about Jalen Hurts? Explain to me what about Jalen Hurts makes him better than Justin Fields?
I thought Jalen Hurts, aside from just his play, was his energy to keep the team to corral as a leader. Not only that, I think he's a better passer, hands down, than Justin Fields. He's a better passer. You've seen Hurts last year game excel. Now, when you look at this year, it don't quite equate to the same, but still, nonetheless, he was just a better passer last year. It was there. And then with his running ability, and I think he's a better runner than Justin. Justin just has to be put in positions where he just got to really put the team on his back the vast majority of times. And for Jalen, that's not quite the case. Jalen has an opportunity to show his athletic ability when it is needed. But I think they're both dual threat quarterbacks, yes, but I wouldn't say they both the same quarterback. I would definitely take a Jalen Hurts over a Justin Fields all day, every day.
I don't think they're that different. I think if you I tell you this, you put Jalen Hurts in Chicago, you get the same result that Justin Fields is. That's the key, is what situation you fall in, right? If you put Jalen Hurts in Chicago, you get the same results. You get the same exact results. If you put Justin Fields in Philly last year, they're in the Super Bowl.
I don't think so, Scotty.
I don't see no difference. I really don't. Because you can't tell me what you cannot tell me other than his leadership, but the only way you see his leadership is because he's on a solid team. He's on a solid team. The team of Philly is just better than Chicago. And
I don't think Philly is just a plug and play to say that it was so great that you could have put anybody at quarterback and it still would have been the same. Jalen Hurts really was something different for Philadelphia that I don't think Justin Fields could have matched last year.
bro, it wasn't the way the offense was ran was not anything special. It was RPO, quarterback keep, quarterback power, fade ball. That's it. That's all the Philly offense was. It was RPO, dive, QB power, fade ball to AJ Brown. And if I get in trouble, throw it to AJ Brown. That's it.
And I get that, but I think it was just something about Jalen Hurts that made that just what it was. Anybody can go out and run that system. I just think it was the magic of Jalen Hurts last year that just made that season to what it was to me. I don't think you could have just dropped a quarterback that have dual threat abilities like a Justin Fields and just put him in that position and he would have that same success. I just don't see that happening. Not last year. I just didn't see that. I thought Jalen Hurts set aside to make himself different from everybody else, and that was his moment. That was his shine. Think about the year Cam Newton went to the Super Bowl, right?
But look at the talent that see, that's two different things. Cam Newton was throwing to scrubs at receiver. Ted Ginn Jr. was your number one guy, and he had more drops than anybody.
Well, he's been known for that. He's just a speedster. He like was the guy on the replacement that needed the glue on his hand. You ever watched the replacement?
Yeah. You talk. I thought you meant Little Giants. You know what I'm saying?
No, the Little Giants too.
He had the elephant giant on his. Yeah.
And I get what you're saying. I mean, at this point, hey, like you said, should they get Caleb Williams? Justin Fields. I don't know. We're gonna see. I'm not sold on Caleb Williams. Like I say, something about him is prima donna. And he has to show me that will to win that dog, because he won the Heisman, and then coming back the next season, it was like, what the hell was this? Lamar came back after he won the Heisman and very much felt like he got cheated that second year.
Mm-hmm.
But Caleb Williams didn't do anything to me that elevated his game. It was like, all right, I'm just going to ride this out. I get this money, and then I take my talents to the league. And I don't know how much I can trust him going to Chicago and to be a guy that can lead Chicago. He doesn't come in with the Baker Mayfield attitude like when Baker came in the league. Baker still came in the league, felt like something to prove. And he still plays with that chip on his shoulder to this day, even at Tampa Bay. Caleb don't give me that.
I agree. I think Caleb is more of I need everything to go well for it to go right. My thing with, I'm gonna let the Justin Fields thing. I think for Justin Fields, the only thing that I have a problem with is his processing is slow. Like there's situations where like he just doesn't process the play very well. Like I'm like, bro, just hit the tight end or hit this, or the processing of him doesn't work. But the thing for me is, if you give Jalen Hurts an offensive coordinator who says, hey, I'm going to build this around what you do well, because I'm telling y'all, I do not care what I see the Eagles more than anybody. I am in the division, and simply saying all Nick Sirianni did was say, hey, we're going to do what you do best. That's why you see all the quarterback power. That's why you rarely see Jalen Hurts throw for over 30 or 40 times a game. That's not his skill set. And if it gets to 30 or 40 times a game, you're getting blown out. You're getting blown out. So I really believe, one, it's situations of like, of where you land and how that fits your skill set. That's a big part of it. And I think it's just the belief of your coordinator and your team, right? Like if anybody remembers RG3 when he got to the Redskins, Mike Shanahan and his son went to Baylor and asked Art Browse, hey, what the Redskins are, why the RPO is even in the league now. If anybody remembers that, RG3 brought the RPO to the NFL. Nobody thought it would work. Everybody thought it was a gimmick. Him and the running back used to kill us with that RPO, pulling it and throwing it over the linebackers. So what I'm saying to you is when you make a decision like that, you have to go all in on the skill sets of your quarterback and what they do well. And I don't think a lot of coordinators do that. They do, I run this because this is what I call. And that's just my little 2 cents. So, you know. Last thing. Last question before we get up out of here. Barry says, do you think the college football national championship should be at the Rose Bowl every year?
Why you say I said that?
No, he's asking a question. I'm just saying.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, man, that was something Kirk Herbstreit said because his love and infatuation for Pasadena, California, man. No, spread this thing around, man. Give everybody an opportunity to see it, especially now that we're going to a 12-team college football playoff. I'm right here near New Orleans, right? It was in Houston just yesterday. So get this thing opportunity to be everywhere, right? Give people a chance to go and experience this, and fan bases to go different places. I don't think it ought to be have a one home of being the Rose Bowl. I get it, the granddaddy of them all, this, that, and whatever else. But now Pasadena and the Rose Bowl does not have to be home to the national championship. Let the national championship go wherever it needs to go in order for people to see it all over the country.
I mean, I loved it at NRG. I thought it was a great production. The outside of the stadium was nice. It's in the middle of Houston, so I love it. I mean, at the end of the day, keep moving it around. Listen, I'm gonna be honest. I prefer the national championship game to be in a dome, so there's no weather factors to dispel the game. But I would like to see it at an open field, an open stadium in the wintertime, national championship, maybe snow, maybe. It makes it interesting, man. That's football. It makes it interesting. But I would prefer to see it in a dome. I just like the fact that, it's just play the game. Who wins? It ain't no heat, cold. It ain't no excuses. Just play the game and see who wins it. I absolutely loved it. So,
and let's talk about that because, next year, would it be in 12 teams? Now you're looking at the national championship being played around like January 20th or so. Now with that being later, Scotty, what does that look like now for the transfer portal for teams that are going to play deep into the college football playoff? Not only that, what does that look like for them picking up teams? What does the early recruitment cycle look like now for those big teams as they prepare to play deeper into a whole nother? Now you playing into 2 semesters for sure.
Yeah.
You playing from the fall all the way clearly into the spring semester if you make it to a national championship. So the college football landscape is going to change, and we're watching it evolve in front of our eyes. And I'm going to be curious to see what that looks like towards recruiting because, right after that, you're going to have a national signing day, about 2 weeks right after a national championship is played.
Facts.
So a lot of these guys get an opportunity even from the college football playoffs coming from off a team, getting into the playoff or not. They still have the ability to hit the transfer portal and get enrolled into another school by the time the spring get going, even after these championship and playoff games. You push a little bit deeper, that's going to start to change the dynamic, especially for the top team, as they may be trying to bring in guys and get guys from elsewhere.
To me, I think you're going to have to change the rule of postseason visits. I think you got to change that rule. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're drawing it out longer and things like that. But I get what last thing I get what Wilson's saying. He said weather's part of the game, bro. I get that. My thing is this: you got the weather all throughout the 12 games. I just don't want it in the national championship. That's just my personal opinion. That's just me. Like I said, you got weather. If you got 12 games going on or whatever. 6 games. There'll be 6 games going on that all are affected by weather, and then the next round's all affected by weather, and then the next I just don't want the national championship affected by weather. I just want to see a good game. And
you either playing that thing outdoors and it's somewhere in Florida, or you playing in a dome somewhere around the country.
You know what I'm saying? It's fine with me, but that is what it is. Man, listen, Perry. Good to see you, man. Good to be back for the new year. We'll be back with the pick'ems for next week when I sweep them. As I do, as I know how to do so well.
Try something different tonight, folks. Basketball. Do y'all care about Swac basketball? Is all I want to know. That was what we're trying to see. And do you care about Swac and MEAC basketball enough to pay attention to this stuff for a whole season?
We'll see. We shall see. We'll see what them views looking like. Perry, what you got coming up?
Nothing much, man. This time of year down in South Louisiana, we get prepared for Mardi Gras. So it is that time of the year. Everything is starting to get cranked up. It'll be here before you know it. It's early this year. Yeah, so a lot of king cake being eaten and a lot of getting my feet ready for these parades. I'm about to hit the beat and catch me some beads and, man, go eat some food and drink some drink and have a good time, man. Other than that, Swac basketball, college basketball is right there. And I want to see what FAMU going to do with this head coach of Texas Southern too. So I guess I'll be paying attention to you and everybody else in terms of what this looks like, man. And it looked like your girl Tiffany is under some hot water. I knew it was rough because HBCU Game Day just the other day wrote an article saying protect her at all costs. And then I saw another article, I think today, it was like, what the hell is she doing? So,
yeah, and he made sure op-ed. This is an op-ed piece, and Von Wilson just went in.
Yeah, so it's like an insider that's like, it just seemed like things were good, and now, hey, so I don't know. So when I start to see them turn it, going from good to rogue, I know, hey, we got some issues here.
Yeah, it's getting bad, and I'm gonna keep you guys abreast as much as I can on the situation. Once I found out, you already know word in the streets coming to y'all. Appreciate you guys, man. Listen, until next time, you know what I'm gonna do. I'ma holla. God bless.